Higgins quit because he was a bit crazy. You're not a bit crazy, are you? These paintings, they're just paper and pigment, nothing else. See you in the morning. Sorry, I forgot to mention. If anyone does try to break in, then don't try and be a hero. Just call the police and run. Okay? Stay safe.
Welcome to Merlehaven's Unsolved Mysteries. Tonight, we'll be trying to solve the murder of Merlehaven's most famous artist, Mordecai Gray, brutally murdered in his loft last year, on the night of All Hallows Eve. Gray had been painting 6 portraitures at the time. They were all suspects according to Justice Hoon, but Hoon was unable to convict any of them. Could there still be a killer on the loose? Was it Dominic Serrell, the lush burlesque dancer? Or Otto Pipistrel, our now famously cancelled ventriloquist? Or perhaps Lilith Rendell, the island's only undertaker? Gray was also painting Sunday Finch, our twinless tennis star, Xavier Hahn, the reclusive clockmaker, and finally, Vice Justice Catherine Myers. Perhaps Justice Hoon was covering up for his understudy. We have all the juicy details coming up, but before we discuss those murderous muses, let's delve into the mind of a killer by retracing their footsteps on that fateful day.
Welcome to Gallery Argenta. I'm Jamie, your jovial art museum information educator. Push my buttons and see how I respond. During an excavation of the henge in 2011, a hive of secret passageways and rooms was found running all the way to the Aurora Woods and beyond. This giant crystal ball is one of the few artifacts recovered during the dig, and due to the ban on all paraphernalia of divination, is now safely homed at Gallery Argenta. Don't try to see anything in it. That would be illegal. The Tornado del Luna is Gray's depiction of a freak tornado that occurred in 1969, just after Apollo 11 touched down on the moon. The more superstitious inhabitants of Merlehaven thought it was a sign from Mother Earth that man should not be permitted to destroy the moon as it had her. A staple of popular folklore, the so-called Butcher of Merlehaven was the villain of many tales of missing pets, vanished children, and cannibalism. The island's modern-day butcher, however, takes a more cosmopolitan approach and has recently begun working with a lab that offers synthesized meat. No one knows who she is, but rumors abound. Mordecai's first love? His first wife? An ancestor? But why all the blood? Endearingly nicknamed the Mordecai Lisa, some say she bears a striking resemblance to his mother. Merlehaven welcomes people of all religions, and today, Merlehaven Chapel is at the heart of the community, hosting weddings, burials, and ceremonies that mark the quarter and cross-quarter moons. Mordecai frequented the chapel as a child, up until his mother died. Originally an unorganised burial ground for the first settlers, the plot was turned into the largest solitary graveyard on the island, with thousands of headstones honouring the dead. Only Merlehaven residents with pre-booked plots can be buried here now. Better known as her alter ego, Miss Moonstruck, talented dancer Dominique Serrant regularly performs her bewitching blend of ballet and burlesque. As the last remaining funeral director on the island, Lilith Rendell ferries Merlehaven souls to their final destination. Angel to the bereaved, she comforts those left behind, whilst pioneering carbon-neutral cremations and burials using compostable coffins. Otto and Pip are Merlehaven's most famous comedy duo, having secured Best Comedic Performance for 3 years running at the prestigious Golden Auk Awards. Pip also has his own solo career, which includes a best-selling children's book and a cartoon series based on the Pip is Hip universe. Professor Catherine Myers is Merlehaven's current Vice Justice, serving under Justice Hoon, and is directly responsible for maintaining criminal laws and rehabilitating offenders. She's also the mastermind behind Merlehaven Manor, the island's only penitentiary, allowing offenders to rehabilitate closer to home instead of being sent overseas. Sunday and Monday, Merlehaven's most remarkable twins, were already well known as the miracle test tube daughters of geneticists Goddard and Constance Finch. But they found fame in their own right on the tennis court, quickly becoming the world's youngest and most memorable doubles champions. Perfectionist surgeon turned clockmaker Xavier Hahn is Merlehaven's most in-demand artisan. He took a small hiatus when his mother died last year, and more recently after divorcing his wife Caroline. But his reclusiveness and rare output has made him more in demand than ever. Although the cause of the undulating hill's hypnotic rise and fall has yet to be found, geologists believe it's shaped by underground thermodynamics. Digging down has proved impossible, as the hill's rubber-like surface is impenetrable, and visitors who attempt the trip frequently experience blackouts and other disturbing side effects. Crystal balls were banned on Merlehaven in the mid-1970s, along with all paraphernalia of divination, and now only appear in painted form or behind secure enclosures for educational purposes. The triumvirate, who jointly agreed to the necessity of the new law, cited the protection of mental health as the primary reason. Native to Merlehaven, the wild boar is generally harmless, though sometimes still hunted for sport. It's a frowned-upon activity that the triumvirate continuously consider banning, and Gray was against the hunt too. His painting aimed to bring more eyes onto their plight. Merlehaven Island was discovered in 1953 by crab fishermen who'd sailed too far out of the wash. The island was populated by many great auk, even though they had been declared extinct over 100 years before. These penguin-like creatures are still celebrated in Merlehaven's annual Auk Festival. The loop depicts the main road encircling Merlehaven that runs around the island and back again in the shape of a Mobius strip. Gray said that if you stand still for long enough on the loop, you'll meet everyone on the island. Abernathy's Bluff is the most inhospitable rock face on the island, luring countless mountaineers to their death every year. Whilst potentially deadly for the people that take part in the sport, It supplied millions of pounds worth of revenue to Merlehaven in tourism.
Wake up. Wake up. Oh, wake up. Yes. You see them too, don't you? From what I can tell, the catacombs under the henge served as a safe place for the witches of Merlehaven for years. The excavation in 2011 was paid for by the Argenta family. I suppose they'd moved their stuff out by then.
Gray's killer definitely knew him. Why? Because the crime scene had no signs of forced entry or exit, and only his coveted diamond orc figurine was missing. Justice Hoon, who was deputizing at the time, surmised the killer must have used a key. How did they get that key? Hoon had two theories. Firstly, perhaps Gray had befriended one of his subjects, or was having a romantic relationship with one, and thus had given them a key. Secondly, and more plausibly, Perhaps the killer had simply found Mordecai's spare key. He kept it attached to a powerful magnet, out of sight, but easily within reach, above his doorway. crime scene had no signs of forced entry or exit, and only his coveted diamond orc figurine was missing. Justice Hoon, who was deputizing at the time, surmised the killer must have used a key. How did they get that key? Hoon had two theories. Firstly, perhaps Gray had befriended one of his subjects, or was having a romantic relationship with one, and thus had given them a key. Secondly, and more plausibly, perhaps the killer had simply found Mordecai's spare key. He kept it attached to a powerful magnet, out of sight, but easily within reach, above his doorway.